go for Siraj.
Siraj, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Danny. How's my favorite Jew?
Uh,
Not named my wife.
I was gonna say, your wife's Jewish. I'm well. I'm well. I'm on. I'm fasting right now. I've been getting into fast, just starving myself. So, I'm feeling good. It's like Yom Kippur every day for me, man.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad. It's not like you have enough holidays to celebrate. I mean, didn't you just finish up all of the holy?
Well, I'm
holy
doing a
days?
3-day one. I'm on day 2. I'm 48 hours in, so I'm lengthening them.
What is it, the juice cleanse?
No, it's just nothing. I'm drinking water. I met this guy at a comedy club like a month ago, and he was like, "Yeah, it's the best thing I ever did." And then this is my 3rd one in the last month. Honestly, feel great.
I just have to say,
really
Danny, I've been listening to the whole stream,
Yeah.
and you're wrong. You're wrong about Jews controlling Hollywood. It's clearly China.
Well, it's angling towards China.
It's very much in China's control.
It's funny too because people are like Jews. Obviously, I have more of a Canadian centric upbringing just because I was brought up there. But definitely Jews do not control media in Canada. It's all waspy whites for the most part. But I mean, again, they are disproportionately represented. But like I said, what do you do about that?
Obviously, you hire an equity officer and tell the rest of the industry why they're so white, or in this case, why they're so Jewish.
Sure, that's the weird,
and then you bring China. Then you bring China into the table and say, "Hey, what do you want to do about it?"
Sure, and that's another one because I was getting into it with people on Twitter today because I jokingly refer to myself, even though I am white, obviously, but I'm also Jewish. But then to piss off anti-Semites, like literally, this guy had like the 14 words in his bio and like the secure the white race, all that stuff. Like he's like a real, like this guy isn't like LARPing or whatever. Like this guy believes this stuff, right? But I say that I'm white. I go, white guys like us. And he's like, you're not white. Right? Like it makes them very upset for me to consider myself a white person. But like when I was in Canada and I was in entertainment, they very quickly, like when the tide started turning with all this like diversity stuff and they were trying to, do like a lot of makeup calls and stuff, they put me in that box. I go, you're a white guy now. And that's who you are. Like it's essentially like I'm always being told what I am.
Right.
Like it's either like if it's convenient for us, you're a Jew, and if it's convenient for us, you're a white person. But it's like they've never rounded up white people indiscriminately, as far as I know.
Did you mention to that guy on Twitter that you had thought about, that you really liked the design of those White Lives Matter shirts?
I didn't. And the funniest thing is, I posted when Kanye did his Drink Champs, I posted a shirt with the Grabbler on it, Kanye wearing a shirt with the Grabbler on it, saying Kanye's new merch, which went viral, kind of, but then went kind of viral in like the wrong, like it was clearly a tongue-in-cheek thing, but then all these like similar type of person who was mad that I was calling myself white, those type of people, they were really loving it. So I can't win.
Yeah.
I can't win.
You're also a comedian, Danny, and so you're just never going to make everyone laugh.
I'm not making anybody laugh.
Because you're unfunny.
I know. It's difficult.
No, Danny, I thought about this a little bit today because, we were talking about Kanye earlier.
I mean, you got some shoes to unload. You must be, do you have like a chart, like a live chart of your, of the price of Kanye's cratering?
Well, I'm checking. There's the Kanye dip, right?
Is there on StockX right now? Because you probably actually do follow this. Because my girlfriend's brother, he has Yeezys, and he texted me because he's like, "So what's the deal? Like, can I wear?" Because he's Jewish. He's like, "Can I wear these or what?" And I go, "Dude, you got to put them in the wood chipper. Sorry, man." And he's not happy about them because he's a bit of a hype beast. He loves those.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's kind of crazy that people are even asking whether it's okay that they wear a pair of sneakers they bought because they like you're gonna are we gonna really broach that subject that we're only gonna take issue with Yeezys and not the fact that the two founders of Adidas were actually part of the Nazi party?
Correct. We have very short memories. I don't know what you know what the news cycle is like these days. We're not even going to be talking about Kanye in like 3 days.
Well, for one, Kanye wanted to get out of his contracts with both Adidas and Gap. He said it so in September, and it's just unfortunate he had to go the anti-Semitic route in order to basically achieve that end.
But I mean, kind of genius move. He's like, because he's honestly like, what can I say or do to get me out of this deal? And he goes, there's the one, like it's brilliant, to be honest, because he will be able to walk back his statements. They were vague enough and like not quite like, he wasn't like, hey, we need to gas all the Jews. Like they were kind of like vague enough where he will be able to kind of just say like, and he did on Lex Friedman. I don't know if you listened to Lex Friedman.
I haven't had a chance to watch it.
It's a great interview. Lex Friedman pushes back on, I think, like on all the right kind of things, but he walks it back a bit. And I thought it was a good interview. And you're like, are we really like what? He's not canceled forever.
Right. No, he's not. I mean, there are people who are still going to listen to his music. People are still going to buy his apparel and his merch. And not to mention the fact that it's not like Kanye is completely far gone. I mean, he is capable of remorse as he's shown.
Yeah.
Not only in the few clips I've seen on Lex Friedman, but at least to Piers Morgan. It sounds like, and again, I can't fully state what's happening in Kanye's head because I just don't know. Either it's a grand strategy as he just illustrated, or he doesn't really have control over what he thinks and what he says and what gets out there into the world. And I think that's the fact that he has bipolar disorder.
Yeah,
at least gives him some wiggle room into saying he's in this thing, this manic phase, and he's popping off at his mouth, and we don't know exactly why he's saying the things he's saying, but you like at least can draw a connection between all these data points. It kind of draws a better picture, and I think honestly it's not too far of a stretch to think that this was planned out. It's just unfortunate.
I will tell you, as a lifelong Jew, a card carrying Jew, and someone who knows a lot of Jews will kind of low key respect that move. Like they're not going to like it, but they'll be like, oh, that was pretty clever. If that's what got him out of like a 10-year contract.
Yeah.
I know some Jews will be like, all right, I don't like this, but.
I also hear your point about the whole part about, why it took so long for Kanye to be dropped by all these things when, he said slavery was a choice in 2018. And he said, had all these like anti-Black statements. And look, if the powers that be wanted me to be canceled simply for the fact that I make fun of like the Muslim stereotypes about us being terrorists all the time.
Yeah.
I mean that they basically can use that against me if they wanted to. Liberals are legit mad that Kanye wasn't canceled for saying anti-Black stuff and that he was canceled for anti-Semitism. It shows you that the victimhood hierarchy is a real thing.
Of course.
And that people really want to ensure that they're the most victimized in society. And the fact that we've spent too much, I like talking to you about this sort of stuff because like it takes my mind off of like all the trials and tribulations, all the
losses you're incurring in your Yeezy portfolio.
Well, I will say this. I think whatever Kanye decides to do, he's got a very loyal fan base of people who are going to go with him. And this is going to hurt Adidas more than it hurts
Absolutely.
Kanye.
I can't see a scenario where like he's in 6 months from now wants to play SoFi Stadium again or something, assuming that the Jews allow him to, because that was one of his beefs. But that he's not going to sell it out. Like, how many people is this really going to be a line in the sand? Because at the end of the day, like I said, as much as people want to openly, say like we love the Jews, a lot of people don't. And this is not just like a line for them. Like, this is not the line for most people is the Jews. It just isn't.
I mean, if he'd gone after Muslims, then I honestly, I'd still support the guy.
Yeah. But again, you can go after your own thing, which is why you are like, it would never stick if people tried to take you down for the Muslim stuff, because you're just like, I am.
Yeah, no, it's also interesting that, you know, as a Muslim, we haven't been victimized in a while. And honestly, this whole thing in Dearborn kind of gave me a bit of a jolt here, because then they started calling Muslims white supremacists at this school board meeting, trying to protest like
when was
all
this?
these hyper-sexualized books in classrooms.
Yeah. And so now they're white supremacists. I mean, Kanye's a white supremacist. It's just whatever.
Yeah. They're literally, that's the new narrative. I saw the new talking points. It's no longer people of color, it's voices of color.
Oh.
Yeah.
They want to make them, why? What's the thinking behind?
Because you can be a person of color, but you might not have a voice of color.
Oh, you don't have the right opinions.
Yeah, you don't have the right opinions.
I.e., you have the white opinions.
Right.
Interesting.
So, honestly, it kind of it sucks being, you know, and look, for you mentioned how you were sort of typecast by these entertainment professionals or whoever the case, sure, whoever these people are, about whether, you know, if you're they want you to be a Jew, you're a Jew when they want you to be a Jew, and you're white when they want you to be a white.
Correct. For me, and it's never in my favor either way.
Yeah. Yeah. And for example, I'm white when people want me to be white, and I'm Muslim when people want me to be Muslim.
Sure.
And it's unfortunate. And the people who are doing that the most are people that are the ones trying to cancel people like Kanye.
Yeah.
But I will say this one thing, and a final note, you know, Jews are more scapegoated than any group in history. You know this.
Yes.
And it's become more and more pervasive with anti-Semitism, and the fact that people don't care is probably the scariest part of that, because
I'll say though, it's like, it's not a surprising thing to me. Like I maybe I'm cynical, but I don't expect people to care. It's like, it's one of those things where like people are like, oh, you want me to care about the Jews? Like, even me saying it sounds like you're not going to get them to care. If anything, you got to hope they're just like not completely apathetic, but like, you're not going to get them to particularly care. Like, whenever again, and this is as a Jewish person, sometimes, like, you know, on Fox News, they'll have like a commercial for like, there's these like poor Jews in Ukraine to send money. And I'm like, who the fuck is sending money to them other than maybe other Jews?
The U.S. Congress is sending money to them.
I guess the U.S. Congress, but I mean, but I mean for these like specific commercials where you see like, I don't know, maybe I'm so indoctrinated as well, where I'm like, who's sending money to them?
Yeah, I mean, our dollars are already going over there. I don't know if you're an American taxpayer yet, but we'll get you soon.
Sadly,
we'll get you. We'll get you soon.
You guys are getting me. And not only am I an American taxpayer, I'm a New York City taxpayer, which is the most devastating of tax bases.
Dude, why are you still in the? I know the comedy scene.
Comedy,
but man,
comedy.
I know it's comedy. I know it's comedy. All right, man. Well,
all right, appreciate you calling
just for that reason alone, though, about anti-Semitism, people not caring, I think Kanye survives this.
Yeah, me too. It's just not. And again, it's like he's protected against the Floyd stuff, and people just are not going to care about the Jew stuff. I'm like temporary. It's just like lip service. I mean, it's not lip service, but again, I think it's what he wanted.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for calling and good luck with your Yeezys.
Thanks, Danny.
Later,
Appreciate it. Have a good one, bud.
You too.